Okay, first Metroid Dread and now Shin Megami Tensei V is getting the disrespect. Come on, you guys. Why can't we just appreciate the game for what it is for once in our lives? Hey, whatever, I'm keeping the intro for this one. I honestly don't care because I'm a little bit heated about the fact that, once again, a game that is on high regard, on high demand, a game that many people have wanted for a very long time, is getting the slander and disrespect for people that clearly do not know how to play JRPG games, do not know how to play a Shin Megami Tensei game, and just simply do not know how to review a game without comparing it to, apparently, the holy gospel that is Persona 5. And to start this hell of a rant that I have for you guys, IGN decided to make a review on Shin Megami Tensei V, like all other gaming journalists are doing at this very moment. Polygon had one, which many people talk trash about. I even made a video about how they shouldn't really compare Persona 5 and Shin Megami Tensei V because they're completely different games. But IGN clearly missed the mark with that, as immediately in their first 6 seconds of their review video,
Shin Megami Tensei V feels like the edgier, less sociable younger brother of Persona 5.
Yeah. Immediately they compared it to Persona 5. And that's what makes this rant very special, because like I've said in a previous video, you shouldn't compare Persona 5 and Shin Megami Tensei V because they're not the same game. They're not the same formula in the context of the JRPG genre. They have different gameplay elements, different combat elements, different turn-based style RPG elements that makes them unique, despite the fact that they share vastly similar intellectual properties like the demons or the atmosphere and tone for each of their respective games in their series. To just say that Shin Megami Tensei V is a game where it is basically Persona without the heart, whatever the hell that even means, because it's a stupid comparison. And not only that, but to say that it is the younger brother of Persona 5. Meanwhile, and I've said this in another video as well, and I'm gonna reiterate it here, Shin Megami Tensei V released on the Super Nintendo in 1992. Meanwhile, Persona, the first Persona game, released in 1996 for the PlayStation 1. Persona is 4 years younger than Shin Megami Tensei. If it weren't for Shin Megami Tensei, there wouldn't be Persona in the first place. So if it weren't for Shin Megami Tensei, you wouldn't have Persona 5 or Persona 5 Royal. But yet, IGN and perhaps many other gaming journalists that are mainstream nowadays wouldn't stick to the comparison of saying that it is a younger brother to that of Persona 5. And while it is understandable that yes, you can say that because on a technicality, Shin Megami Tensei V specifically is releasing a couple of years after Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal, regardless of that comparison, the games are different in their own right. They're completely different games with completely different formulas within the same genre, that is the JRPG genre. And to make my point across, it is as if you were comparing Bayonetta to that of Devil May Cry. They're both hack and slash games, but the formula for Devil May Cry is vastly different than the formula of Bayonetta 1 and Bayonetta 2. And for people that have played both of these games, they will know the difference for sure, despite the fact that they are once again within the same genre. This is the same case being presented with Shin Megami Tensei V and Persona 5 here, and yet people just simply don't listen like IGN here. Furthermore, if you really wanted to make a comparison, IGN or any gaming journalist that's out there, you honestly could have just compared it to a previous Shin Megami Tensei game. There's Shin Megami Tensei 4 for the 3DS. If you really wanted to make a comparison, they're both on Nintendo consoles, on the 3DS, and then we're gonna have one for the Nintendo Switch. You could have compared to Shin Megami Tensei 3, which got an HD remastered, by the way, for the Nintendo Switch as well. If you really wanted to compare the hardware capacity of, Shin Megami Tensei 5 to that of Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD remastered, you could have done that. You could have just compared it to the mainline Shin Megami Tensei games as a whole. But just the fact that you decided to compare it to Persona 5, which once again, even though it's an IP property from Atlus, it's different than Shin Megami Tensei as a whole. It's completely different. They may share the same elements of gameplay and combat, but other than that, it's different. It is just different, and I've really made my point with that Bayonetta and Devil May Cry comparison, because that's just the reality. These games are different despite being in the same genre. That's just the reality of what these games are. And if you really want to say that, you could have just said that it is a unique JRPG genre of a game that allows unique elements that would let the player know what it needs to do, and all the stuff that Shin Megami Tensei does that makes it unique, it makes it different to that of other JRPG games as a whole. But I think this has a much broader context here, and that is the fact that gaming journalists just don't understand the context of what a game is. They don't understand that every single game they play is unique and different to that of what its predecessor was, if it's a series or a franchise, or even that in terms of its genre. Like I've said, if you want to compare Shin Megami Tensei V, throughout your review, you should have compared it to Shin Megami Tensei 3 or any other Shin Megami Tensei games as a whole, because again, they shared the same formula. But no, throughout your course of your review, it was nothing but Persona this, Persona that, it doesn't have these elements, it doesn't have that elements, blah, 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 and it's just ignorance. It's just plain ignorance, and it really makes you look like fools. And that's the saddest thing a person can be, and that is to look like a fool. But time and time again, IGN, you've done that, and I genuinely believe it is just time for you to just, or any gaming journalist in general, just play the game, experience the game for what it is, and make your review based on how you experienced the game. And if by any means you want to compare it to any game that you've played, do not make it as the basis of your review, but rather as a tangent to your review. Don't immediately start your review by saying that this game is the younger brother to another game, which in reality, if we look at the gaming history of both of these series, one is older than the other by 4 years. And I've already said that in the beginning of the video, and I'm not going to reiterate that point at all, but you get my point. There's just no point in making yourselves look like fools. And there's really no point in proving that as well by allowing us to say otherwise, because there's plenty of people that are hardcore Shin Megami Tensei fans, hardcore Atlas fans in general, that know their history and know the right way to review this game, and they're for sure going to do a better job than what you guys have done already. And so that's basically it. This is going to be short, sweet, and to the point, because it just, again, I've already made my point with a different video, so this is just an addendum to that video. And if you want to watch that video, which I said, do not compare Shin Megami Tensei V to Persona 5, do not compare it, do not compare it. Here are some good reasons why you shouldn't compare it, even though Persona 5 is a good game, and yet the comparisons are still being made, and they're being made in a way that really grinds many people's gears, whether it is casual fans, hardcore fans, or people that simply just want to have a good time, experience the game for what it is. But I don't want to waste too much of your time and my time, and I obviously do not want to end this in negativity. I love to end my videos in positivity, so we're going to change the mood with that. I will say that, let me know your comments down below whether you agree or disagree with me here, and it's perfectly fine if you disagree with me. Just know that there are going to be a lot of passionate people, far more passionate than what I am, that are going to really read your comment and say otherwise. So please be prepared for that, and please be respectful in the comment section down below. That being said, now for those that have been here for a very long time, you guys know how I like to end my videos. Keep being awesome, keep spreading love and kindness to the world, because I know you guys can, and I know I can as well. So let's make sure to at least do one act of kindness each and every day to someone out there who needs it, especially in these times. Keep improving yourselves by 1%, because by improving by 1% can go a long way towards making a better tomorrow. Know that I love you guys forever and always to 120, and I can't wait to see you all in that next fantastic video. Remember guys, stay freaking sexy and take care.